Institutes of Health, which last year proposed to amend their mission statement to exclude the word disability, saying it, quote, could be interpreted as perpetuating ableist beliefs that disabled people are flawed and need to be fixed. Let me take this moment to go on record. Folks, if I am ever struck blind or deaf or paralyzed, don't praise me. The woke think the #1 job is to protect homeless people from stigma. I think the #1 job is to protect them from rain. When Adele lost weight, she was excoriated for betrayal. To who? She betrayed the unhealthy.
The left is outraged again, and this time they're canceling people who are actually trying to fix the problems dragging society down. In the world of the far left, only they can do good or offer solutions. Everyone else is apparently a fraud or a hypocrite desperate for public applause. Ridiculous, right? Maher certainly thinks so. The outspoken comedian sliced through the far left's performative outrage, and honestly, it was comedy gold. Grab your popcorn because he didn't hold back. Let's dive into the spectacle.
And BuzzFeed agreed Mr. Beast seems to regard disability as something that needs to be solved. Okay, disability is something that needs to be solved. And what truly needs curing is blindness. Here's how I know this. The newly sighted people are cheering, not booing, because Mr. Beast, whoever that is, just cured them and you didn't do. You know the expression, or go blind? You didn't either.
Maher doesn't mince words. He goes straight for the jugular without hesitation or warm up. He calls out the far left for a pattern everyone can see. They rarely lift a finger to help anyone. Yet the moment someone else steps up, they're ready to cancel them with Olympic-level speed. Their latest complaint is that someone doing good shouldn't film it and post it on YouTube. But Maher hits them with the obvious question, where do they think the money to do the good came from in the first place? From YouTube. Posting the videos isn't vanity, it's the engine that funds the generosity. And here's the irony, if he had all the money in the world and chose not to help anyone, the far left would still come after him. It's a lose-lose situation because their outrage isn't really about morality, it's about control. You simply can't please people who are committed to being offended.
They love nothing more than being a victim, except when they really are one, and then they tell you, I am not, go f yourself. Get this. Last month, Mr. Beast, in another dick move, funded the construction of 100 wells across 5 countries in Africa to provide clean drinking water to 500,000 people. Good thing, right? No. Not good, bad. The founder of a charity called Face Africa called it kind of frustrating that overnight this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all of the attention. Yes, but you know what else is frustrating? Dying of thirst.
Exactly what I was talking about. The woke left seems perpetually offended and satisfied by nothing. Mr. Beast's humanitarian work in Africa should be universally applauded, yet an NGO is upset because they believe he's stealing their shine. Really? If someone is doing the same work you claim to be doing, bringing clean water, building infrastructure, improving lives, wouldn't the logical move be to join forces and amplify the impact? Instead, their reaction reveals something far less noble. They don't want mere Beast's involvement because his presence shifts the spotlight, and with that spotlight goes the funding they've grown comfortable receiving. When the funding dries up, so does their influence and control over the narrative. Their outrage isn't about ethics or effectiveness, it's about losing control of public attention.
Beast, how dare he come in and bogart digging the wells? That's so white guy, always taking fresh water and shoving it down our throats. Oh. Another thing this asshole did in Africa was pay for the rebuilding of an African orphanage, which the director of the Hope and Homes for Children charity called it a classic case of white saviorism. So true. Ask any orphan to name the worst part of their life. Show-offs.
The more you think about these things, the more shocking they become. Society's problems were never going to be solved exclusively by governments or by the self-appointed heroes of the far left. Real progress has always depended on people, ordinary or influential, stepping in and contributing their part. That's exactly what Mr. Beast is doing. His intervention in Africa isn't some exaggerated case of white saviorism, as critics like to claim, but a response to real, pressing needs that have been ignored by various governments for decades. Clean water, infrastructure, and basic necessities aren't political props, they're human essentials. And when someone finally steps up to provide them, the focus should be on the lives being transformed, not on nitpicking the motives of the person offering help. Mr. Beast isn't undermining anyone. He's filling a gap that should never have existed in the first place.
How did we get to this weird place? Telling people who are actually out in the world making a positive difference, you're the problem. Yeah, quick question, who the f are you? And this isn't only the media and the people on Twitter who exist to bitch, always finding something. He just did it for the clicks, or for the wrong reason, or you should have done more, or sooner, whatever. You signed X. No.
Maher's words sting like a bee, sharp, precise, and impossible to ignore. And honestly, he's right to call it out. Who exactly are these far-left critics who believe they possess the moral authority to judge anyone's altruism? It's almost laughable. They won't lift a finger to help. Yet the moment someone else steps up, they rush to cancel, condemn, and complain. It doesn't matter how genuine the effort is, they'll still dig for something negative to say, as if finding fault is their full-time job. According to them, every act of kindness must come with a sinister motive, unless, of course, they're the ones doing it. Then suddenly it becomes noble, pure, and beyond criticism. Maher exposes this hypocrisy brilliantly. His point is simple. Altruism shouldn't be attacked just because it didn't come from the approved ideological camp. Good is good, no matter who's doing it.
National Institutes of Health, which last year proposed to amend their mission statement to exclude the word disability, saying it, quote, could be interpreted as perpetuating ableist beliefs that disabled people are flawed and need to be fixed. Let me take this moment to go on record. Folks, if I am ever struck blind or deaf or paralyzed, don't praise me. Fix me. Don't sit around talking about how much I'm just as good as you. Fix me. Do something. Use AI. Invent something.
Maher is right, and he doesn't tiptoe around the truth. People living with disabilities don't need performative speeches, shallow hashtags, or woke talking points that celebrate them while leaving them in the same difficult circumstances. What they actually need is real support, medical care, accessibility, opportunities, and tools that help them overcome challenges and participate fully in society. Maher argues that empowering people to improve their situation isn't offensive, it's humane. Yet somehow, the far-left outrage machine twists genuine help into an insult, as if offering someone a chance at a better life is an attack on their identity. It's absurd. True compassion isn't just about praising people. It's about removing real barriers so they can thrive, grow, and enjoy the same freedoms as everyone else.
You know, there's so much faking this time of year between the presents you don't want to buy and the presents you didn't want to get and the goodwill toward men that lasts until January 2nd. I just don't have room for, and disability is awesome. It's not awesome. And it's not a political affiliation. That's the problem. We turn everything into a political identity category. You're deaf, that's your identity. Don't mess up a good thing by hearing.
Maher is right. Everything has become so politicized that even disability has been turned into an identity label. In today's climate, nothing can simply be what it is anymore. Everything must fit neatly into a political narrative or cultural box. And this trend didn't appear out of nowhere. It began on the left, where every issue and every group became a branded identity. They created labels for everything: homelessness, illness, immigration status. Nothing could remain neutral. Instead of focusing on real problems and practical solutions, people's lived experiences were turned into ideological trophies. Now disability has been dragged into the same arena, treated like a political badge rather than a human condition that requires support, empathy, and meaningful action. Maher highlights how absurd it's become when common sense gets replaced with identity theatrics.
Adele lost weight. She was excoriated for betrayal. To who? She betrayed the unhealthy? The woke have even turned the homeless into a political identity group, as opposed to liberals, old school liberals, who just want to get them off the street, which now is seen as kind of judgy, like, don't disturb them in their natural habitat.
It's the same attitude toward homelessness that helped escalate California's crisis. Instead of supporting meaningful solutions, treatment, shelter expansion, rehabilitation programs, and policies that actually reduce homelessness, the woke crowd fought every practical effort. When city officials tried to clear dangerous encampments, activists rushed in claiming the sidewalks in tent cities were the homeless population's natural habitats. The absurdity would be laughable if the consequences weren't so devastating. Allowing people to remain in unsafe, unsanitary, and dehumanizing conditions isn't compassion, it's negligence disguised as virtue. By blocking real interventions in the name of ideological purity, they trapped people in the very suffering they claim to defend. Instead of helping the homeless off the streets, they help them stay there, an act that isn't empathy, but the enabling of misery dressed up as morality.
Life under the bridge. The woke think the #1 job is to protect homeless people from stigma. I think the #1 job is to protect them from rain.
The first responsibility of anyone who claims to care about the homeless is simple: get them real help and get them off the streets. That's the foundation. Once they're in a safe environment, away from violence, disease, addiction triggers, and the daily grind of survival, then you can focus on protecting them from stigma or rebuilding their dignity. Trying to shield them from stigma while leaving them on the streets is completely backward. It's putting the cart so far ahead of the horse that the horse can't even see it. Keeping people in tents and dangerous encampments just to prove you're compassionate isn't compassion at all. It's moral posturing. True care means addressing the root issues: mental health, addiction, unemployment, lack of support systems, and helping people reintegrate into society. Anything less is just pretending to help while the suffering continues in plain sight.
When I did the Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014, I thought I was helping the cause of funding research to cure ALS. Wrong again. An op-ed in Time magazine said the Ice Bucket Challenge even seems to be suggesting that being cold, wet, and uncomfortable is preferable to fighting ALS. It was suggesting no such thing. What is wrong with this country that so many people can't be happy for anything for even a second?
Maher rightly points out that woke culture has become a pack of wet blankets, always ready to smother anything that excites, inspires, or simply brings people joy, especially when they're not the ones orchestrating it. If they're not involved, suddenly the whole thing is problematic, offensive, or in need of cancellation. It's almost comical how predictable it's become. Everything is wrong to them unless the idea, initiative, or recommendation comes directly from their side of the ideological fence. They've turned nitpicking into a full-time sport, acting as if they alone hold the moral high ground while everyone else is a clueless amateur. Maher highlights this hypocrisy with sharp precision, showing how the woke crowd doesn't just dislike anything they didn't create, they actively try to shut it down. Instead of celebrating good deeds, humor, or human progress, they're busy finding new ways to be outraged. In the end, Maher exposes a glaring truth. The woke crowd isn't about progress or compassion, it's about control, outrage, and ideological gatekeeping. From canceling those who genuinely help others to politicizing disability, homelessness, and altruism, their moral posturing consistently undermines real solutions. Joy, generosity, and practical action are only acceptable if they come through approved channels. Everything else is attacked, nitpicked, or canceled. Maher's critique reminds us that common sense, genuine help, and good intentions should never be punished for failing to fit a political script. This brings us to the end of today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments below.